Daniel's Dread Tales is a show for grown-ups. It may contain adult language and adult themes. Please check the episode description for content warnings. Welcome, everyone, to an episode of Daniel's Dread Tales. This week, we're going to be playing a game of one-to-one Gumshoe, and we're going to be playing Cthulhu Confidential, which is a variation on Trail of Cthulhu, which we've played before on this show, but designed for just one game master and one player. And that means you get me, your game master this week, Daniel Fernandez, he, him, you know me. And who is our player this week? Please introduce yourself.
Hi there, it's Damien, he, they. I'm around here regularly. I'm going to be playing Vivian Sinclaire, the investigative journalist.
Yes, exactly. And our story is going to be taking place in the 1930s in New York. Daniel's running a thing, so there's a good chance it was going to be set sometime in history. That's the crap I like. And I hope you like it too. So, we are going to be using a adventure that is pre-written that I'm adapting called Fatal Frequencies from the book Cthulhu Confidential, which is by Robin D. Laws, Chris Spivey, and Ruth Tillman. Just wanted to make sure everybody gets credited there. Before we started playing, you got to pick which of the existing problems that she might have, and you settled on she wanted to always get into trouble.
Yeah, anything for the story.
Yeah. All right. So, you're a reporter for the New York Herald Tribune. The year is 1936. And you are in your office. It is Monday, May 14th. And tell me a little bit about your office.
So, Vivian's office is, it's not the most tidy. There are a few stacks of paper on her desk. There's like a bookshelf off towards like the entry to the office. And it's like maybe half full, and it kind of looks like the books are spread around to make it look more full than it is, type deal. And there's maybe a few knickknacks in some of the open space.
But you do have an office, which is kind of nice. Not all reporters get offices, like full-on close-a-door office sort of deals. So that's nice. What would you say is the most valuable possession that you have in this room? Maybe sentimentally, if not, monetarily.
I would have to say Vivian's most prized possession, the thing that means the most to her, is the first article that she'd ever had published. She has it like framed sitting right behind her desk.
What was that article about?
It was actually for her high school paper.
Oh, okay.
And it was a story actually about urban legends. In the town that she had lived in at the time. It was like a smaller town, like just like outside of New York.
Okay, so that was your first story. The last thing I'm going to ask before we get started, just to get a feel for where you are right now, what's the most recent story that you got published?
I think Vivian's actually in a little bit of like a creative slump. The last story that she was sent on was like an expose about like the mayor.
Okay.
Type deal, like just something exceptionally mundane just to like pay the bills.
I mean, corrupt mayor is not like mundane. Like that's kind of a big deal. But
this is New York.
Okay, well, fair. Well, it getting published though is kind of a big deal if it can make it through that much. But maybe that's not the thing you're interested in. Maybe you want more of those urban legends, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's the last one that she tried to get published was a piece on Bigfoot. But like her editor was like, no, just no.
All right,
take that away.
No Bigfoots or big feet. I don't know. All right. Well, it's relatively early on a Monday morning. When do you think you roll into the office?
I think she's a fairly early riser because like especially right now because she's been in kind of a creative slump. She wants to find that scoop that's going to get her blood pumping type deal.
Exactly. And also, you kind of just got to get the scoops when you can get them. It is the Great Depression, after all. It would be nice to get paid,
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, your phone is ringing. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring.
Vivian picks up. Hey, how can I help you?
Hey, Viv, it's me, Marilyn, down at the front.
Hey, Marilyn, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing peachy. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. The great morning outside. It's the bee's knees.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. So, I got a gal here by the name of Vivian Sinclaire. No, that's your name. No, she wanted to see. I got my notes all confused. There's a Sadie who wants to see you. Should I send her up to your office? Do you want to come down and see her?
Send her on up. Send her on up.
Alrighty. She'll be up in just a little bit. Be nice to this one. She looks cute. She looks sad.
Oh, well, I'll take good care of her.
All right, hang up. We committed to that voice for you?
Mostly. It's probably gonna waver, but
we'll see.
You know.
Look, the receptionist was only going to talk that one time, so it's fine. You're going to talk the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
All right. After, a little bit, she's got to come up in the elevator to get to you. A woman knocks on your door.
Come on in.
All right. And this is, by the way, do you think there's anybody in, the rest of the newsroom who, notices this person coming in? Do you think anybody's going to try to, scoop your story or anything like that? What do you think your relationship is with the other folks in the newspaper?
I think a lot of the people that would, work out in, the bullpen area, are probably, out actually, working on stories themselves. I don't know if any of them would try to scoop me, but there might be one of the other higher level reporters that are there.
Oh, do you have a rival?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, you do have a rival.
His name's Jimmy.
Oh, I was going to say, I have a name for your rival.
Oh, okay, that works.
His name is Lawrence Ames.
Lawrence Ames.
Yes. You used to work a lot of stories together, not so much anymore. You used to date, not so much anymore as well. And there's kind of some bad blood there.
Fair. He didn't like that I got promoted.
I guess not. All right. So the woman who comes in is a real waif of a girl. She's got sort of dishwater blonde hair, and she's got dark blue eyes, and she's very clearly been crying a lot lately. She's not crying right now, but it seems like she's been crying a lot lately. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to see me, or letting me come to see you.
Oh, don't worry about it. Come on, come sit down, Sadie.
Yes. My name is Sadie Kane. I really need your help. I saw that story you wrote a couple years ago about that guy who the police were framing for murder, and I know that you proved that he was being framed, and I need your help because my fiancé is being framed for murder right now.
Come, tell me everything. Would you like some coffee?
Yes, I guess so, yeah.
Vivian's gonna go to off to the side of the office, little coffee maker there.
Okay.
Pour a couple of cups of coffee and bring them back.
Okay.
Here, sit.
Okay.
Start from the beginning.
Okay. My fiance, George Preston, is the greatest man I've ever known. And there was a murder in his apartment building, and his neighbor, well, isn't alive anymore. And then he disappeared, and now the cops say that means he did it. But George would never hurt anybody. George was the nicest and sweetest guy in the world. He was the smartest guy I ever knew. He never treated me bad, not once. And he would never murder anybody. He could barely hurt a fly. The police, they're saying because he's not around, that means that he did it.
Do you know of any places that he might have gone to?
No, I I don't. He doesn't have any family. Not much anymore. Um, he has his job, but they say he went to the job, but he hasn't been seen there. He hasn't been reporting for work. His friend Charlie hasn't seen him. I don't know where he would be. He hasn't come to see me.
Charlie, do you know Charlie's last name?
Charlie, it was it's Irish. Fitzpatrick. Charlie Fitzpatrick. They work together at Fuller's Electrical Repair.
Fuller's Electrical Repair. Do you know, this is a long shot, but do you know where George's hometown is? Do you know where he's from? Is he from New York here?
He was in a small town upstate New York. But I don't think he has any family left out there. You never mentioned him.
Okay. You don't know the name of the town?
Not really. He didn't really talk about that. I think it was called. I think it was maybe up near Utica. I don't know. Not Utica itself though. Somewhere a little bit outside.
All right.
No, he. There's no way that he hurt anybody. Those police, they don't care about us. They just want the case to be done with, and they're just blaming him. And I don't know if he's being framed because there's something they're mad at him about, or if they're just framing him because they're too lazy to do the job. But he didn't do nothing. He never hurt anybody. But I haven't seen him. The police, they came to my apartment, and then they came to my work, and my boss fired me because he said he didn't want no trouble. And I really need to find him.
I'm going to utilize reassurance here.
Okay.
Listen, I will do my best to find George. I have one more question for you. Can I get George's address?
Yeah. He lived in the Naval Yard, Brooklyn Naval Yard. He's in he's lived on the 3rd floor of an apartment building, and she gives you an address.
And do you have a phone number where I can contact you at?
Yeah. Here you go. And she gives you a number.
Perfect. All right. I'll start looking into this right away for you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll make it my priority.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions for her before she goes?
No.
Okay. I'm not saying that
That's
there
fine.
is anything else, but also if there's any investigative abilities you'd like to use with her, I don't know if there's any other ones you want to use. Just sort of be thinking about it. Check your list of investigative abilities.
I mean, the only one I could think of would be assess honesty, but me as a player, I'm pretty sure she's on the up and up.
Yeah. I mean, there is the classic femme fatale who comes in and says, you have to help me solve this crime, and then that person actually did it or whatnot. But I would say Vivian is getting the vibe from this gal that she's telling the truth. You know, Vivian, you've seen people who want to get a positive story about their loved ones who are accused of crime so that the jury is more sympathetic, you know, even though they actually did it. This does not seem to be one of those cases. This is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the first thing that I would like to do, Vivian's gonna down the rest of her coffee in one swallow, and then head over to Fuller Electrical Repair.
Oh, going to the job first. Okay.
Yeah, gonna speak with Charlie.
Okay. All right. It's several blocks north of the Fulton area, and Fuller's Electrical Repair is a 2-story brick warehouse. And there is a line of people outside that are seeming to be trying to get inside. They're hanging out outside the door. There's a gate, like a steel gate, but it is open. I guess iron gate, probably not a steel gate. And you could sort of walk it onto the floor if you would like, though there are a bunch of people sort of looking around.
Yeah, I'll walk onto the floor and kind of take just a glance around and check the place out a little bit.
All right.
Before approaching anybody who looks like they work here.
Yeah. So there's kind of a tidy desk up front, where there is a secretary, but you don't even need to go in that room. You could just sort of walk straight to the floor, which sounds like you do. This place definitely just used to be a warehouse that got converted into this. And the floor is mostly covered by, a dozen or so men working at individual workbenches. They seem to all be working on different projects. Very high ceilings. Yeah, they don't really look up much. Most of them don't really look up much at you. A couple of you maybe like glance at you and then sort of go back to doing what they're doing.
All right, that's fair. After my look around, I'm gonna go back and approach the secretary.
Okay.
Hi, miss.
Hello. Do you have an appointment?
No. I am. I would actually like to speak with Charlie Fitzpatrick, if I may.
Oh. Yeah. Let's see here. And the secretary, her name is Adams, by the way, Petunia Adams, points back. Yeah, she works near the back left bench right over there. Can I ask what this is about, though? I think Charlie, she's already busy with existing projects. You could talk to Fuller if you want to talk to the boss. Maybe you can, set up a repair job, but you're not really supposed to talk to the workers one-on-one. Mr. Fuller assigns the piecework.
I appreciate that, doll. I'm actually here on slightly different business. I have some questions for Charlie about a friend, actually. I'm here looking into a Mr. George Preston.
George. Yeah, he was an odd one, Yeah. He's a bit of a dreamer. He's always sort of looking off as if he was looking something that wasn't there. Weird guy. Nice guy, though. Never really, gave me any grief like some of the other boys, Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, I just have to speak with Charlie about George a little bit, and then I'll be out of his hair.
All right. But if you need anything repaired, Mr. Fuller, so we're always looking for new customers.
I'll be sure to keep you in mind.
You be careful out there. And she, again gestures you towards Charlie.
Yeah, and I will head over towards Charlie.
Charlie is sort of short, wearing overalls. She has many pocketed smock over it. She got grease smudges all over her. Classic sort of, worker gal. And she's got sort of a mannish cut. And, when you're looking at her, you wouldn't even necessarily catch at first glance that she even is a woman. And she must be doing that on purpose. She must know what she's doing in terms of how she's dressing herself. And to be perfectly honest, there's something about her as you're looking at her. And I need you to make a cool roll. Because there's just something very charming about Charlie when you're looking at her. And I need you to be able to focus on the story and not Charlie's appearance. So let me tell you how this is going to work, because this is all up front with the rollings. It's all open information. You would have taken an additional penalty if you took the sucker for a pretty face problem, which means that you keep sleeping with your subjects of your stories, but you didn't take that one. You're just going to need to roll a 4 to interview this woman with charm and grit, but a 2 or a 3, you will also be able to interview her, but there's going to be a little bit of you might be keeping her at arm's length a little bit. Finally, if you roll a 1 or lower, you're going to maybe start developing a little bit of a crush on Charlie. And if you would like, there is one thing that you can do. So in this system, whenever you're making one of these checks, you could take on an additional problem to make it so that you have better luck at succeeding on a roll. But that problem will persist whether you succeed or fail at the roll. In this one, you would take on the problem big talker. Like, you're going to be talking to Charlie and you're going to be very loud and kind of everybody's going to be hearing about it.
Yeah, I'll just go with the 1 die.
All right, make a roll.
I believe in myself. Hey, I rolled a 2.
You You rolled a 2. Okay. She's cute. You might even want to buy her a drink sometime, but you got to treat her just like any source, with a bit of distance and a grain of salt. So you'll be able to proceed normally, but you won't be getting any sort of bonuses or anything from this interaction.
That's fair.
All right.
Miss Fitzpatrick, may I have a couple moments of your time?
Yeah, who's asking?
Vivian Sinclaire. I'm here to ask you some questions about a friend of yours, George Preston.
I don't really want to be answering a bunch of questions about my friend. Okay, who are you? Why? Who are you?
I'm an investigative journalist. I've been hired to clear his name.
You've been hired?
Yes.
Is that how journalists work? You get hired to do stuff. I thought that's what private detectives did.
Times are tough all over.
Well, okay. If you work for the paper, I'll say a few things. Maybe we could help Charlie out. Well, not Charlie. Help George out. Maybe you could help me, Charlie, out as well. I don't know.
To be honest, his fiancée Sadie hired me.
Oh, Sadie's a peach. How's she doing?
Not well.
Yeah, I could imagine.
It seems.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd like to help her out. So if you could help me, anything that you could help me with, I'd be much appreciated.
I mean, the cops already came through and asked everybody anything, but I'll tell you what I know. I don't want to take too much time. I got to get back to work.
Don't worry, doll. I'll let you go as soon as possible. Do you know any reason that he would run? Like, do you know anywhere he might be going to?
I don't know where he would be going to. Look, don't tell Sadie this, but when his machine didn't work, I was looking at him, and he was the thing that he'd been working on for so long, when it didn't work, I was about worried he was going to throw himself off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Machine, you say? What sort of machine?
Oh, he'd been, I don't really know a lot about it. It was something like a radio that he was making. I don't know. Fuller lets us work on projects here. We do our work during the day for Fuller, and then at night, he lets us use the workshop to work on any sort of personal projects that we've been working on. And, George had been working on his personal projects, but he'd been, the last time, anytime anybody saw him, he'd asked me to actually stick around and help him with something, but I already had a date. So I didn't stick around.
Do you think his, is this radio, still around somewhere?
No, I guess it's not really in the shop anywhere. I used to keep it under some rags in the back corner, but I guess somebody must have moved it. Maybe the cops took it. I don't really know. It's funny. He was very moody. The day the day he disappeared. He's very down and gloomy. But a few days before, he was talking about how he heard voices in the crystal radio. All this, it's stuff. I don't know. But if you're looking for what happened to him, Fuller would have been the last one who saw him, I think.
Well, thank you very much, Charlie. I should take you out for a drink sometime as thanks.
Well, let me give you my number.
Huh.
Yeah. Charlie's actually getting a little flustered at this herself, this comment. I gotta get back to work, but, maybe Fuller could help you. Maybe another time, okay? The stuff with George is really, really a lot,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so, George, he lets himself out. George has a key to the place, so he lets himself out usually around midnight, but Fuller is usually the last one here, outside of the people that stay till midnight, stay super late. So Fuller would have been the last one to lock it up. So Fuller should have saw him when he left. I was supposed to stop off right after the date.
Yeah,
I was supposed to be there.
it'll be fine. We'll find him. Thank you very much for your help.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And then back out to the secretary I go. Petunia doll.
Yes.
Would I be able to speak with Mr. Fuller, please?
Yeah, just, look, we're not really supposed to be taking too many interviews and stuff. We already had that one gal asking questions about George, and now you're coming in, and it's just, it's a lot going on, but I'll give him a call, and I'll ring him up and see if he's willing to hear about you. And, she buzzes. All right. I guess, yeah, he'll have you right up there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. By the way, please, at any time when you're conversing with people, feel free to use any of your investigative abilities, in particular your interpersonal skills, which are going to be the ones that have the picture of like two faces talking to each other.
Yeah.
So Fuller's office is on the second floor, and it sort of has a big old window that looks out on the rest of the floor. And as you come in, you see him sitting in the chair with his feet on the table, and he's smoking a big old cigar. Set behind him are a bunch of big switches with cords leading to the rest of the factory. There's a microphone on his desk, which I assume lets him talk to the people downstairs. And he says, thank you for coming. You're Miss... I'm sorry. They didn't say what your name was.
Vivian Sinclaire. Mr. Fuller.
Yeah,
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm so glad that you came here, y'all. I understand electronics can be pretty confusing if you're not used to them. So, you come to the right place. You are going to get fuller quality than any other normal repairman, all right? Tell your friends, give you 50% off.
I might take you up on that offer. However, I'm here on some business of my own at the moment. If I might take a couple moments of your time.
Oh, I am pretty busy. Why are you asking questions? Who are you?
And I think at this point, flattery is a good option.
Okay.
As I said, I'm Vivian Sinclaire. I normally work with the Herald Tribune. However,
you're a reporter. Oh. Say no more.
However,
say no more.
I've actually come on a somewhat personal matter. I'm here on behalf of Sadie, a mutual acquaintance of yours with somebody by the name of George Preston.
Oh, yeah, George. Of course, you'd be. I guess it's going to be coming out in the paper, right?
Well, honestly, I would like to see the truth of the situation for myself. And someone as intelligent as you, I'm sure you must have some great insights on the situation.
Absolutely.
So I figured I would come to talk to you as one of my first sources.
All right. It's Fuller. Okay, there's two L's. Fuller. Just, how you normally say the word. Just make sure that you talk about the shop, okay? Tell folks how great we are.
Oh, definitely. I just have a couple of questions. So you were one of the last people who were actually around George the day that he went missing.
Yeah, I guess so. I saw him 4 nights ago when he locked up. When I locked up, he was still in here. I told everybody to lock up their stuff. I lock up my stuff. But the boys sometimes stay late, work on their own stuff. I don't play favorites. They got to supply their own materials and whatnot. But he and a couple other the folks who work on the floor, they got their own keys so they can let themselves out at night. I locked up around 8 p.m. or so that night, I think.
Okay. Do you happen? Does he sound like he's being honest? Specifically assessing honesty here, because he comes off as kind of a sleazeball.
He's he's a sleazeball. He's absolutely a sleazeball. But it's kind of hard to get how much of this is him trying to like get the story to be like to make him look like a good guy, and how much of it is like maybe like some sort of deep evil secret that he's trying to hide. I don't. There's anything else in particular? I'll let you know if it like rings a bell or tings your assess honesty alarm.
So, I heard he's working on some sort of a radio or something.
A radio?
Do you happen to know what he was working on? You said he was doing a personal project.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about that radio he's working on. Yeah. No, now that you mentioned it. Yeah, no. I remember that. He never tells anybody about what he's working on. So he's playing that close to the vest. I let people make their own projects. I let them work on their own stuff. So I don't really know. He's disseminating wildly about this.
Well, I definitely appreciate that you want to give your staff the freedom to, work on their own projects. It's a very stand-up thing that you're doing. I think though that like, actually, did he happen to leave the radio here?
Oh no, he takes it. He takes it home with him every night. He brings it in the morning and takes it home with him. I think he wants to keep an eye on it.
Interesting. And so you said you'd left around 9 that night?
Yeah. Are you working with that other gal, Pearl something or other? She also was coming in asking questions about George.
No, I'm not. The name doesn't ring a bell.
All right. No, it was there's what her name? What's her name? She left me a card. Where the fuck is it? Oh, sorry, ma'am. And he goes. There's a heap of papers all over his desk, and he eventually produces a card and offers it to you. The card says, Mistress Isis Neferi. It has a phone number, a street address in Brooklyn Heights, and the name Temple of Nephestus. Madam Isis. Now, this wasn't her, but she said she worked for her or something. She was begging me that if George ever came in, that I gave her a call. Said something about I just was asking, because she was also really curious about he called it a miracle machine. I think she had a little bit of a screw loose, to be perfectly honest. Cute broad, though. Oh, excuse me.
I'm gonna pull out my notepad and pen and jot down the information on the card.
Keep it. I don't care.
Much obliged. And I'm gonna kind of just stick it in the page that I was writing on and close the notebook and put it back in my pocket.
His desk, by the way, is littered with letters, receipts, invoices, newspapers. And as you're looking around, you notice that there is a letter addressed to George Preston, and it is open, sitting on the desk.
And it's still morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's maybe 11 o'clock.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on his desk. You might be able to grab it without him noticing, but you'd have to be careful.
You know what? Yeah, I'll go. I'll.
Or you could try to ask for it, you try to buy it from him or something. I guess I don't know.
I was thinking of wait until doing other stuff, coming back after he left, and using some of my other skills.
Break in here after 8 o'clock. You could absolutely do that. Okay, that's another thing you could absolutely do. Maybe taking it off the table would be easier, but also break in at night might also work. Both are totally valid options.
You know what? I'll go for the filter roll.
Okay. 4 or higher means you successfully take it. 2 or 3 will give you, he will notice you taking it, but then you can sort of play it off. And if you have be like, oh, I was just touching this. It says it right here, And then if you get a 1 or less, he's going to catch you stealing it and be mad at you.
Yeah, that tracks.
And you may take the extra problem, Fuller becomes suspicious, which will make him suspicious no matter what, but it would give you an extra die.
This is probably important. I will take that.
All right, I'm going to give you a card.
I got a 6, by the way.
Oh, hey, that's great. I'm going to give you a new card right here that says Fuller becomes suspicious. Fuller notices the missing envelope. He puts 2 and 2 together. He suspects you plan to target him in your next expose. All questioning of him in the future will require pushes. He is not going to talk to you. But also, you now have a letter that you could read. You're not going to probably want to read it right now, but no. You now have a letter that you could look at.
Vivian manages to, pocket it quickly, and I think this is also where she's going to say her goodbyes, because she's gotten all the information that she was probably going to get out of Fuller as it is.
Yeah.
So, well, Mr. Fuller, I will definitely make mention of your fine establishment in my next article.
All right, excellent. Well, I appreciate you coming by. We do the best work. We hire the best electricians. Heck, we got people waiting to line it up to get a job here, but only the best, only the best.
I saw that. You've done quite well for yourself, but thank you very much for your time.
Even in these hard times, we're doing pretty well. Well, thank you very much, miss. You have a lovely day. He will be suspicious later, but he's not suspicious just yet.
Yeah, that's okay. I have a feeling that the miracle machine is still on the premises, so coming back later may be a potential thing that happens anyway. Now, I'm going to go to...
Do you want to read a letter?
Yeah, I'll read the letter while I figure out where I'm going next. Because it's on my way. Yeah, that's it.
This appears to actually not be a letter to Preston, but a letter written by Preston that he was going to send and did not get a chance to send.
Okay.
It is addressed to a man named Hereward Carrington.
Dear Sir, I write as an admirer of your work. Though by trade an electrician, I consider myself an inventor in the tradition of Marconi, Morse, and Bell. For several years now, I've worked on a device which I consider a successor to the radio and the television. Just as we walk daily through waves from a dozen radio stations and now television stations as well, so I believe we are constantly surrounded by the unseen spirits who exist at a frequency most humans cannot perceive. From my readings on psychic phenomena, I conclude that mediums are no different from others who possess such acute hearing that they cannot live in a house with others, or such strong sense of taste that they only eat the blandest of foods. And we average men are like the colorblind who cannot distinguish red from green. Only our numbers are far greater. Machines, unlike men, face no such limitations. When complete, my device will amplify light and sound to make visible that which exists at the very edge of what you and I can see and hear. From your books, I gather that you possess a greater openness to scientific proof of psychic phenomena than many others in your line of work. I would be deeply indebted if you would be willing to discuss my theory with me further, and attend the first public unveiling of the device, which I now believe to be in its final stages. I've recently begun attending psychic ceremonies at the Temple of Nephthys. From my observation, I believe the medium, Madame Isis, possesses a true connection to the spirit world. Unlike others whose seances I have attended, she does not elicit phantasmal raps, conjure glowing hands, or move objects with ghostly fingers as a magician might. Several of her regular attendees, with whom I have spoken, include her secretary, attest to the veracity of statements they receive from the departed. I consider such testimonies better proof than showy phenomena. Despite my faith in my own observations, I hope I might ask whether you had visited her once on one of your investigations, and if so, whether you observed any fraudulent behavior of the types you described in your books. I remain yours sincerely, George Preston.
Okay, you got a letter.
Hey Shannon, I have this really awful issue with a rash in a place I can't discuss on air. Do you have anything to help me with that?
Oh boy, do I, Matt! Have you tried Dice Fiends? It's a podcast where games are played, and it's great, and it'll clear all your rashes up, especially the ones in those unmentionable places.
Oh, is it okay if I get it in an orifice?
I don't know how you would do that, it's audio. You can find it anywhere podcasts are.
Alright, I'm gonna head straight to my nearest podcast center and get me a jar of Dice Fiends. Thanks, Shannon.
You're welcome, Matt.
Dice Fiends has not been proven to clear rashes, but it can relieve boredom. If Dice Fiends is exposed to an orifice, contact your doctor immediately. You can find Dice Fiends and other shows like it on the Imaginary Broadcast Network.
It seems to be, like I said, addressed to a man named Hereward Carrington. You've not heard of the guy yourself. You've not heard that name before, but, you know.
I think I'm going to go check out George's place.
That makes sense. That seems like a logical place to go.
Because I know that the Temple of Nephthys will probably have a lot there for me.
I'm sure there's nothing at the apartment, right? Which was also the site of a murder, remember?
Yeah, well, there's that. It was his neighbor's apartment that the murder was at.
Fair, but it's the same apartment building.
Yeah, it's the same building. Two birds, one stone. Alrighty, so yeah, I would like to head to George's apartment first.
All right.
Actually, what sort of building is it?
The apartment building's near the Brooklyn Naval Yard. It's among a mixture of tenements and some more whitewashed, more modern buildings. It's been around since like the 18th century. Seems like it was probably a rooming house for factory workers at one point, and they turned them into apartments. This is probably a pretty cheap place to live. This neighborhood is also relatively crime-ridden, as you know. Not a lot of the crimes get reported, though, mostly because organized crime sort of runs this area. And if you're doing any crime that they are not involved in, they get rid of you.
That's usually how that stuff works. So I'm at least attempting to do this on the up and up.
Yeah.
Is there anything that denotes, like, the landlord's apartment?
The landlord's apartment's on the first level.
I'm going to go up to the landlord's apartment. I'm going to tap on the door and give my nicest smile to the person who answers.
There's a thin, craggy man with a long nose, but you only notice the nose is long when he moves the handkerchief away from it. I'm sorry, allergies. How can I help you?
I was wondering something. I'm with the Herald Tribune. I'm looking into a little bit of a story. I was wondering if you might be able to help me out.
Oh God! Are we still talking about the murder?
Yeah. I've been looking into it. I'm sure you've seen some of my work in the past. I'm Vivian Sinclaire.
I'm sorry, I don't read too much. My name's Clarence Simpson, but I don't really want to get involved in any of that stuff right now. You could tell George when he turns up that he's not allowed in the apartment anymore. Okay, kick him out.
Well, actually, his apartment's why I've come. Kind of trying to figure out what happened to him. So,
look, I told the police everything, and what the other people are saying, that's just mass hysteria from hearing the screams. Okay, so I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
I'm gonna attempt reassurance here.
Okay.
I understand you're probably real busy. All I would really like is just a moment to take a look inside the apartment, with your permission, since it's your building. I swear, I'm not here to cause trouble.
You could maybe get him with a push.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Fine. I could show you around. You want to see his apartment?
Please.
All right. He takes you upstairs to the 3rd floor, and he leads you to an apartment. You realize it's not actually George's apartment. It's an apartment right next to his. The cops finished cleaning out the place, but, somebody else has got to clean it. So you could take a look. Take a look, I guess.
Do you mind if I take a look in George's old now unit as well? Who knows? It might help you get any back rent he's owing you at this point. If I can find him.
Well, I mean, I guess. Let's see. He unlocks the door. You notice as you make your way inside, there is a young woman who just sort of steps out of her apartment, looks at you, and sort of looks at is thinking and sees you interviewing him. Sees your little notepad out. She goes, oh! And then she runs back inside her apartment.
Okay, I'm going to take a mental note of the apartment.
Okay. It's at the end of the hall.
Okay.
Yes. And Simpson lets you in, and he is just going to be leaning against the closed door. His arms are folded, and he's watching you closely the whole time.
Okay, and this is in George's apartment.
Yeah, he's let you into George's apartment. Look, I can't. If George shows up, he's got to come on back. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You got to make sure your interests are taken care of. I feel for you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just want to find out what happened to him, and if we can find him, we can find him.
Yeah, I was there. I came in late that night when it all happened. I'd have gone out to see a movie, But when I came back, I was checking in on all the tenants, and I went to Preston's room. He wouldn't open the door. We were knocking. Everybody else opened up the door. George wouldn't open up his door. So I used my key, opened up the door. Didn't even notice him at first. He's curled up up in the bed. He was just shivering and crying. Must have been a guilty conscience.
Well, it's Thank you very much for that information.
Yeah,
I
the
really
police have been
that.
questioning everybody. They want to question him, but he's gone now. So, they told me that he did it. So, we can't have criminals like him around.
Well, I can appreciate that. I'm gonna kind of take a look around the apartment.
Yeah.
Does there look like is there like a desk or anything? Or, well, actually, what do I see in the apartment? I should ask you.
Well, first of all, the apartment has very clearly been tossed by the cops. They stormed through here looking for stuff and then left. There are clothes hanging neatly in the closet. It seems like he didn't just take all of his things with him. There's a forced lock on the center desk drawer, and all of the other several desk drawers are sort of ajar. Seems like they were grabbing everything.
Oh, okay.
There's a bookshelf as well, and a bed, and that's kind of it. It's a pretty small apartment. There's a little bathroom, obviously, that he could use. Nothing seems particularly out of place there. He's got a closet with clothes hanging up. He's got a desk that got ransacked. He's got a bookshelf with some books on it and a cheap bed.
Okay. Is there anything left in the desk?
Seems like everything got pulled out. There are no papers left in the desk.
I'm going to take a look at the bookshelf.
Okay.
What type of books does it look like he had on his shelf? What was his reading material?
It's a curious mixture: engineering reference books and books about spiritualism and psychic phenomena. You actually recognize one of the titles as being written by Hereward Carrington. It says Your Psychic Powers and How to Develop Them and the Physical Phenomenon of Spiritualism.
Okay. I'm going to take that one and just kind of leaf through it to see if it looks like there's anything that was like kind of stuck between the pages.
No, nothing in particular. You do recognize like the author info. He's a local author.
Okay.
But besides that, it just looks, honestly, well, what do you think about psychic phenomena?
I think Vivian is a believer.
Oh, okay.
Like, she does articles on Bigfoot.
Fair. Okay. So does you think, if there was somebody doing like a cold reading and like pretending to talk to the dead, do you think Vivian would fall for it?
I think for the most part, like, probably not. Like, she would probably be more of the, like, the more theatrical they are about it.
Yeah.
The faker they are, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
But, like, yeah, like, she's in the camp of, like, she believes, but she's still kind of skeptical of most accounts.
Actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm just going to remind you, check all of your investigative abilities when you're checking out areas.
I was going to utilize evidence collection.
There we go. So here's the thing. One of the places people put stuff. You lift up the mattress.
Yeah.
And clearly, whoever was investigating this place for the police had not worked crime scenes very long or was distracted, because you find taped to the bottom of the mattress a large folder.
Okay. I would like to essentially remove that and take that without Clarence there noticing.
That's going to be difficult because he's watching you the whole time.
That's fair.
Hey. What's that?
Well, I would like to know myself. This is part of the investigation.
Yeah, but you ain't a cop, okay? Doesn't that have to go to the police?
It will.
Okay. He's scowling a little bit at you, saying that you'll take it to the police.
I want to say reassurance.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. All right. What? Okay. But what is it? Okay, just got to make sure there isn't like a bloody knife in there or something,
Yeah. Understandable. And yeah, I'm gonna open up the folder.
It's blueprints. Complex blueprints for like an electrical device. You don't know much about electronics, so it's not like you're going to be able to piece it together, but looking at it, you're like, no, these are definitely blueprints for an electronic device of some sort. We're not really getting into it too much, but you have several contacts. So if there's ever something you want to investigate and you don't know much about, I got a list of like 6 different people that you could talk to. So you would know Professor Rice over at Hunter College might be able to interpret some of this stuff for you. But you've got, as a reporter, you've got, connections at the police force. You got connections all over the place.
Yeah, like basically kind of pulling them out a little bit and like rifling through. It doesn't look like we've got a knife in here to me. It looks like blueprints of some sort.
Oh, yeah, he was crazy. Doing some sort of crazy device, right? He's like a Frankenstein. Ha!
That was a fun story. Do you mind if I see the apartment where everything happened?
Yeah, I guess so. And as you open the door, you notice that there is a young woman who is kneeling at the door and seems to be trying to pick the lock to get inside the room that you're in.
I'm assuming she starts as soon as the door opens.
Yeah, and she immediately starts to run.
I will bolt after.
All right, athletics. On a 6, you will catch them. On a 3 to the 5, you will catch up to them, but things might get a little bit difficult. On a 2 or less, you will lose them. You can also take the problem wrenched ankle. You can run really hard and try to catch up to them, but you'll mess up your ankle.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll take it.
You're going to take a messed up ankle?
Yeah, I'll take the messed up ankle.
Ooh, we're just taking all the problems, huh?
Not all of them. I skipped one.
You skipped one, okay.
I got a 6, so it helped.
It did help, yeah. All right. The gal isn't going to end up stealing the plans from you, which is one of the things that could have happened, actually. Okay. But you have a messed up ankle, You were going to take a -2 on your next athletics, fighting, or other physical test.
That
Or
tracks.
you could take time to like take a break and let it heal, but the case will continue on without you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. With a 6, you also, however, earned a bonus card.
Ooh.
You get an edge. It is sure-footed. You know exactly where to put your feet, even if if that's in someone else's path. You may spend this card to gain an extra dice in an athletics test.
Nice. That could help out quite a bit.
Yes. Getting some cards. Cards.
Hey, miss.
Do you want this girl who's trying to run away, do you want to drag her like towards the street or to the apartment? Where do you think you catch up to her? How do you think that goes?
I think I catch up to her in the stairs.
Okay.
And it's like right after I fuck up my ankle.
Yeah.
So like I'm coming down the stairs and I kind of run into her on a landing.
Okay.
And that's where I catch up with her. Let's go back up upstairs here. You seem like somebody I want to talk to.
She's a very young woman. She's wearing a simple suit. It clearly is not designed for someone of her size. The suit is too big. It's sagging around her body. She's just a little too girlish to be wearing it. And she's wobbling slightly in her heels. I'm sorry. I needed to. It was very important that I was investigating what was going on here, and then you grabbing me, and then I'm so sorry. It's all just very, very confused. What's going on right now?
What's your name?
Oh, me? I'm Pearl. Pearl LeBlanc.
Pearl, eh?
Yeah.
And that name sounds familiar. And it's at this point that I'm gonna pull out the notepad with the business card in it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull out the business card. Does this look familiar?
Oh yes. Do you know my employer, Madam Isis? I'm her private secretary.
I might have some questions for you. I'm looking to see. I'm looking for some information about a mutual friend of ours.
I'm not really supposed to say too much, but no, just please don't. I promise I wasn't doing anything illegal. Please don't, involve any sort of police or anything like that.
Using reassurance. Don't worry. I'm not gonna call the cops on you. I would like to find out what happened to George. That's all. He has some loved ones who are really concerned about what's going on. And
no, it's very important that we find George and his miracle machine. It's very important.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that, Pearl?
He came to see Madam Isis the day he disappeared in the afternoon. And he made an appointment with me to see Miss Isis after he got done with work, but he never showed up.
And he was supposed to go down to this temple of Nephthys.
Yes, the temple. Oh, you should come to one of our ceremonies. It'll truly change your life.
I might take you up on that. However, as I'm sure you can understand, I'm gonna have to put work first, doll.
Yeah, no, I guess so. Yeah, yeah.
I'm guessing she's trying to hide something.
What you said here is true. She's extremely nervous that she's gonna get in trouble.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna call the cops. I like I said, I just want to find George. So anything that you can tell me, anything at all would help.
I don't know. I went to Fuller's, the place that he worked in, but the men there were so cruel and mean, they didn't really tell me. And then there's all those guys waiting outside. There's always people trying to get a job, and they were treating me like a girl, and they weren't really listening. And Yeah,
I understand. What do you know about the machine?
It would let ordinary people see a fraction of what people like Madam Isis can see. and it would change everything, you know? But Madam Isis didn't tell me to do this. I wasn't. This is a personal matter that I was doing right here. So don't blame her for what I was doing. But you know, it would change everything. Everyone would come.
Well, I'll probably call on you again. I can find you at this Temple of Nephthys, correct?
Yeah. But you know, you're not going to tell anybody, right? About what happened here. I was just trying to find some stuff. I was trying to help George, like you are, I guess.
No worries. You were never here.
Oh, thank you. You're the best. You're the best. And she leaves quickly.
And I make my way back to the room where the dude was murdered.
Yeah. And the landlord's like, what the heck was going on with that?
Wrong apartment.
Whatever. And you see that there are some people that have been coming out of their apartments, with what's been going on here, sort of curious about what's going on. The first person you notice is that woman who ran into her apartment again. You see that she emerges. She's wearing a much nicer dress and a very fancy hat. And she says, Mr. Porter, if you need to know anything about what happened, I'm here to tell you anything that you need.
I may take you up on that, madam.
All right. You see that there are, three people that have sort of stuck their head out that are sort of looking around, in addition to the landlord. But he says, "You want to see Fink's apartment? Look, I can't be taking all day. We got things to do."
Yeah, I appreciate that. Let's I apologize for the delay. Let's see this apartment.
The door opens up, and it's not good. There is an enormous blood stain on the floor, and some splatter on the walls and the bed.
None of it made its way up to the ceiling?
No, none of it seemed to make it to the ceiling.
Okay, well, that's not so bad then.
He's a good guy. It's a shame what happened. I came back for the pictures, tried to get I heard him scream. We tried to get the door open and, couldn't get it open in time, I guess. Coroner took him straight to the morgue.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, the police didn't even call a doctor,
Taking a look around the apartment, does evidence collection tell me any?
No, not really. I'll say Streetwise, by the way, lets you know about kind of crimey stuff.
All right, yeah.
And
so
I would say
Streetwise tell me anything?
Streetwise will tell you this. It's not less crime and more the cops would have torn this place apart. So there's probably nothing really here. A little bit of evidence collection, a little bit of Streetwise. If there's anything useful, they've probably taken it. Because this is where the murder happened. Yes, investigating the suspect, they were looking for stuff, but anything in the murderer's apartment, there's pretty much not going to be anything left here. They would have taken everything. It might still be at the station. The body's probably still in the morgue. But, you're probably not going to be able to find anything here besides just blood, unfortunately, for what you're looking at.
Okay, no, marks anywhere? Like gouges, holes that look out of place, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Well, I think I've gotten everything I need here. Thank you very much, Mr. Simpson. And with that, I'm gonna go to the door that the now well-dressed lady came out of.
Yeah. You see that there is a middle-aged woman and an old man that are also sort of hanging out in the hallway, looking to see what's going on. But you don't need to go to the door. The fabulous looking woman sort of following you around a little bit. Yes. How can I help you, detective?
Call me Vivian. And may I get your name, please?
My name is Violet Blake. And are you a detective? Are you a reporter?
I'm an investigative journalist.
Well, and you're looking into the ghastly business that happened that night?
I am. You said you knew all about what happened.
Yeah, definitely. What everybody else said, it's mostly how that played out. But what I want to say is, I know all about that creep. I know all about the creep who did it.
The creep, you say? Please go on.
Yeah, that George. He was a screwy type. Okay? He was too quiet. He never really talked to anybody. He's a sex killer, a crazed sex killer. That's why he took the lower half of the body with him. He was doing probably horrible things with it.
The lower half was missing.
Yeah. Maybe he was eating it. No, I think he's a sex criminal. He wasn't even keeping his eyes on, the things normal people would keep an eye on.
Is that so? Well, that's been some very enlightening information. Did you happen to notice anything else?
I won't forget the face of the man. It's
George's face?
No.
Oh, Fink.
Yeah, it's something. It's like they scared him to death before they did what they did to him, I've been having trouble sleeping, thinking about it. You got to get that creep before he does something like this again.
We'll definitely get to the bottom of it.
Any other questions or any skills on her?
Nah, I think I have what I need from her. I would like to go talk to Professor Rice.
Okay. You don't want to talk to any other witnesses, any of the neighbors? You don't have to. They don't necessarily have anything good. These guys seem like they might be kind of clueless. You could talk to them, or you could talk to Rice. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they're not really going to be able to tell me much more than she has, and she's only really given me a little bit of useful information that I didn't have before.
Yeah. To be fair, you've seen her kind in investigating before. She has seen nothing and just wants to be like a part of what's going on.
Exactly. But so I'm going to go talk to Professor Rice and bring them these blueprints.
Yeah, Professor Rice is a woman. Her name is Annette. You call her Nettie. You guys are friends. She actually was your professor when you were attending the college. She's a tweed-clad woman, works in the natural sciences department, and drinks more coffee than any human being probably should be able to.
A woman after my own heart.
Exactly. All right, you head over to the college. It's getting kind of late in the day. You catch her as she's getting ready to leave. And she is very happy to see you. Viv, darling, it's so good to see you.
Nettie, how are you doing?
We're surviving, as it were. The funding's been a little bit tight lately.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm working on a case.
Oh, a case? A case?
Yeah.
Ooh, so fancy. I thought you worked on stories.
Well, this one's shaping up to be pretty interesting, actually.
Oh, I love it when you tell me about your stories.
I have some blueprints here that I can't make heads and tails of. I figured you might be the one to ask about this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm assuming we're in her office?
Yes.
Yeah,
she sweeps a bunch of the papers on her desk to the floor, kind of haphazardly, as she starts taking these blueprints and starts laying them out.
I mean, where do you think Vivian got her
I keep saying blueprints.
From?
Blueprints are for a building. These are schematics.
Yeah.
I keep saying blueprints. Yeah.
So I pull out the schematics and start showing them to Nettie.
This is all right. She lays them all out. She's looking at it, aligning it. It's missing several pages. I'm not going to be able to figure out what this means. I mean, I could get a vibe for it, but I don't know if I could tell you everything about it. Let's see here. It's like is this a radio? Where did you find this?
It's you know the murder that happened up at the naval yard, up by the naval yard there.
No, I didn't hear about that.
It's gruesome business, but it's related to that. Guy's fiance came to me and
the dead guy?
No, the person who's accused, his fiance came to me and asked me to see about finding out what actually happened.
Huh.
Right now, I'm trying to find the guy, and this is my best lead.
All right, let's see here. Well, okay, so it's a radio receiver of some sort. Well, similar to one. It looks like it receives the signals and then passes them along to, well, something. The parts are missing, but it probably would be an amplifier, I guess, to express it. It's way more complex than any radio I've ever seen. It'd be probably about the size of a suitcase, I think, if I'm reading this correctly. This would need an immense amount of power. This would like probably cause a blackout, like if you were to use this thing.
Now, would there have been any recent black or brownouts that Vivian would remember?
Unfortunately, there's none that you remember. Unfortunately, with the sort of haphazard power grid of New York, there are a lot of brownouts.
That's fair. There would be something that at this point in history would be probably pretty easy to hide.
Yeah. If you're looking for power outages, I know a Marie Lewis. She works over at Consolidated Gas. She might know a little bit about power stuff. At least, a draw this big would probably show up on the grid.
Might be something to look into. Thank you.
Yeah.
We need to set up a day for coffee sometime.
Oh, well, any day's a day for coffee, darling.
Of course. I'm gonna contact you this Saturday.
Okay, I'll see you next week. And you'll have to tell me what this thing is, because I would love to see what the heck this thing is.
You and me both, doll. You and me both. So it's getting late in the day, so Marie will have to Marie will probably have to wait until tomorrow. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit.
Okay.
Until like 10 o'clock at night or so.
Okay.
And head back towards Fuller Electrical Repair.
All right. So, unfortunately, as you are leaving, you notice that there is somebody lurking outside of your building. There's definitely somebody, like, keeping an eye on you as you exit. You could try to avoid him with stealth, though.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. Is this one of the things that I get a -2 to?
Yes, it would be. On a 5, they won't notice you. On a 2 through a 4, you'll lose him, but he'll know where you live. And on a 1 or less, you're going to get caught.
And if I take an extra die, what's the bad thing that will happen?
You can become rattled, which means your confidence is reduced. Just because, gosh, more stuff is coming at you. This will give you a -2 penalty on all cool and stability tests until you take some time.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
You'll go with that? Okay.
Hey! Go Gadget 6.
Oh, okay. That's great.
I'm glad I rolled that because my other dice was a 3.
Ha! Let me give you this rattled card as you keep getting more and more problems.
But the wrenched ankle is done.
Yes.
That was only on my next one.
Wait, so you... Right, yes. All right. Whoever this was that was following you, you realize this is somebody who you saw lurking around on the edge of the case when you were dealing with the mayor. You're not quite sure who it is, but it's some muscle related to the crime that the mayor was involved with. Maybe a mob enforcer of some sort.
Yeah, it tracks.
But thankfully, you have dodged this one for now.
For now.
All right.
Okay, but yes, so I'm going to continue on my way to Fuller Electronic Repair. Like I said, like I'm aiming to get there at like 10 o'clock at night.
All right.
To try and make sure Fuller's gone.
All right. Unfortunately, it seems like Fuller has added some armed guards to the outside of the building. It's almost like he was suspicious of maybe people coming back.
I mean, I don't blame him.
To get past the guards, you're going to need to make a stealth roll. You will succeed on a 6. Anything less will be a failure. You could try to sneak in, but it's going to be tough. You could take the problem cocky, where you start feeling, that you kick ass, which will give you a -2 on your next sense trouble check.
You know what? Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'm going to try and sneak in.
Roll.
Hey, I got a 6.
Really?
Yes.
You're rolling too well.
I am.
We're supposed to have cool things happen when you fail. How do you keep winning?
I don't know. I'm changing my dice.
The street lights are on the fritz as you sneak in. The lights are flickering on and off like crazy. But you get past the guards and make it to the back door, but it is locked.
And I will use my locksmith ability to attempt to pick said lock.
You get it nice and easy.
Is there anybody inside at the moment?
Well, so you're in a dark storage room in the rear of the shop, but you can see a crack of flickering light, and you hear a hum, but it's not a mechanical hum. It's a weird sound, like a whale song.
Do I hear any footsteps or voices, or would that be like a sense trouble roll?
You don't hear any footsteps or voices. Oh, as you are looking through the door, you see that there is a chair with somebody tied to the chair. And, oh God, there's a spotlight on the person in the chair. And there's things around him. Things that would have been described if you had talked to more witnesses back at the apartments, but whatever. They're blobby and luminescent. They're covered in mouths and tentacles. And the person sitting in the chair is Charlie. The translucent mass of tentacles moves from the edge of the spotlight. And do you want to watch what it does to the body in the chair?
No. Okay, so from my vantage point, can I see the machine?
You cannot see the machine. You see that this thing is coming after the person in the chair. You could get to the chair quickly if you moved fast, but this thing is coming after the person in the chair, Charlie. Or you could look away.
No, I'm gonna go try save Charlie.
Okay.
This may be a very gruesome end for Vivian.
Okay. I need you to make a stability test at difficulty 10.
So I add the 2 dice together, right?
Yes. Do you aren't you losing stability because of the thing I gave you, or was that just cool?
Yep. So basically I have to roll boxcars. Okay, well. So I got a 0.
Oh, great. Cool. You're gonna get a new problem.
Oh, fun.
It's not devoured. But I kind of wish it was. This is gonna be something that's gonna hang over you. Haunted. Neither alcohol nor drugs can erase the knowledge that such horrors exist, or that their paths can cross ours.
Yep.
It counts as a mythos shock.
Yep. Seeing things from beyond the veil.
All right. Cool. So it was spooky. Now you need to make a quick test of some sort to escape. And also, so you run up to, okay, so to be clear, you run up to Charlie in the chair. Charlie is knocked out.
Yes.
What do you do? Also, this thing is here, and you're terrified by it.
What sort of chair is it? Like, is it just like a cheap wooden chair?
It's a cheap wooden chair.
I'm going to grab Chair and Charlie and fucking try and get out of there.
All right.
So I'm thinking athletics?
Yes. Difficulty 4.
If it was just me, I would be like fleeing.
Yeah.
And I get a +2 to this.
Yeah.
I rolled a 3, so that's 5 in total.
Okay. Wait, what? Say that again.
So...
Oh, right, because your edge.
Oh.
Your edge that you have. Your
Sorry,
sure-footed
actually,
edge.
I did that. slightly wrong. So it's a 3 and a 1. So I got 4 between both the dice. Because it's an extra die, not a +2.
Gotcha. All right. Great. But you're okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're able to grab her and the chair and get her running. This thing seems to be floating in the light and not leaving it. And you're able to get sort of towards the darkness. And then you hear a voice say, "Hey! Hey! Get back here!"
I'm assuming the voice sounds very similar to Fuller.
Fuller's. Yes, it's coming from the office.
I'm gonna hide in the in the little like back room that I originally entered through.
Okay.
And see if he comes down.
You hear the humming stop, and the thing disappears. And you hear the sound of somebody coming down the stairs, swearing, and also very, worried about something. Lots of things to be worried about, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, so in this little like supply room that I had gone back to, is there like a mop handle or something like that, or a broom?
You could probably find a wrench.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I would like to wait till he gets a little bit closer, and I'm gonna brain him.
Okay, you're gonna make a fighting roll.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a lot bigger than you, and you're.
That's why I grabbed the equalizer.
You grabbed the equalizer, right? All right. You see that he has a gun in his hand as he's looking around, a revolver.
Okay, so to be more specific, I would like to sneak up on him and brain him. So I'm assuming that will require a stealth roll?
It will require a stealth roll.
Can I tack a problem on?
No, these are quick tests.
Okay. Haha, that's a 4.
You're the luckiest investigator ever.
Yeah, apparently.
You whack him on the head with a wrench. You knock him out. Now what?
I'm going to take his gun.
Okay.
Quickly go back and untie Charlie.
Okay.
Because she's still tied to the chair.
Yes.
And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to use the rope.
Okay.
On Fuller here.
Okay. Are you going to tie him to the chair?
You know what? Yes.
Okay.
I was originally thinking of just like tying his wrists to his ankles behind his back and leaving him laying on the floor. But yeah, that works. And once he's tied up, actually, I'm also going to try and wake up Charlie.
All right.
Once he's tied to the chair.
All right. Charlie eventually wakes up and she is
Charlie, don't worry. You're good.
I saw it and I couldn't. They did something. There's something with the machine. It's bad. Something went wrong.
Well, I saw what Fuller did. He's secured in the other room. Did you see where the machine is?
I don't know. Fuller probably has it in his office.
Okay. You get home. I'll call you later. Make sure you're safe.
Okay, because I'm real sorry. I knew Fuller was looking at the schematics, but he was going to fire me if I told anything.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll deal with Fuller. You just get yourself home.
I hope George is okay. And she leaves.
It's at this point, I'm going to go back up to Fuller's office.
Okay.
And I'm going to poke around. This time a lot more obviously since he's...
There's a big device sitting on his desk. It looks like a radio transmitter made out of crystal, and it's plugged into the wall. Oh, actually, it was just recently ripped out, unplugged from the wall, but the cord is close to the wall.
Okay. Now, the window's looking down on the floor.
Yes.
I'm assuming I can see where Fuller is in the chair.
You actually are realizing that he looking at these switches behind his desk, it seems like he controls lights all over the place. So he had turned the light on the chair above where Charlie was tied up.
Okay. I'm going to turn that light back on, but I'm not going to plug in the machine.
Okay. I mean, it was, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to yell down, "Hey, Fuller."
What? Wait, what the fuck? Get me out of here! Fuck you!
So,
Remember, he has the little microphone on his desk that he can use to communicate.
Yeah.
So, Fuller, I see that, you do know a little bit more about this machine than you were letting on.
Look, I'm trying to get control of it. Look, I can sell it to the State Department, the War Department. There's stuff coming up. You see what's going on in Europe. We can use something like this. I've been testing it. I'm figuring out how to make it work.
Well, it seems we know how it works at the moment. Anything that's in that little circle of light there that you're sitting in, it seems like...
No!
Well, then, maybe let me know what happened to George. You know. I know you do.
I came in that night. Okay, I came in, and he had used the machine. He turned it on, and that thing came out, and it ate him. There was nothing left. Just killed him. He asked for my help. He said he needed my help. He said he was going to talk to Charlie, but Charlie couldn't be there that night. So he asked me for help, and I was there to help him. But it got away. He lost control of it.
So you were there when he died?
Yes. Okay, yeah, I was there when he died. He said that he had lost... He said he used it for the first time in his apartment. Something went wrong. And he said he had to fix it. So he came here. He was going to try it. He said he thought he had fixed it. I guess he didn't fix it.
Well.
Look, please, let me out of here. I know how it works. I have the rest of the schematics. Okay? We could do something with this. Okay? Okay, we can make a lot of money. We could help the country. This is the future, man. This is the future.
I'm assuming with evidence collection, I can find the rest of the schematics around his office.
You don't even need to make you can just find them. Yeah, they're here. Yeah.
You mean these schematics right here? Wow.
And Vivian is going to sit down by the plug so that she can't see what's going on down there.
Oh, God.
And plug the machine in. And leave it plugged in until the screaming stops and then unplug it.
You hear the sounds of squishing, snapping, and screaming. And then the hum of the machine.
I'll unplug the machine and pack it up as best I can. And does it look like there's if it looks like there's like a crystal or something like that on it that's like a necessary component?
Yeah, there's the amplifier in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, like Vivian's gonna like pocket that specifically and probably as of like the next day take the rest of the machine over to the Temple of Nephthys.
Oh, you're gonna go give it to him, huh?
But not the crystal.
Okay.
They can find their own crystal.
They can find their own crystal. All right.
Let them get devoured by the 4-dimensional blob monsters.
Well, they're not going to be able to without the amplifier crystal, but
Yeah, exactly. And then to wrap a neat little bow on it, Vivian's gonna contact both Sadie and Charlie, checking in on Charlie to make sure she's doing okay, and let Sadie know that.
Charlie is getting out of the city. She's going to move with her mother and her sister, and they're going to move out of New York. They are never going to be back.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. And then, I'm going to get a hold of Sadie and let her know that it seems that her fiancé may have met their end at the hands of their former boss, who now seems to have gone on the run themselves.
I guess he was no good. He was a brilliant inventor. I guess he paid the price for his genius.
It's unfortunate.
There are some things that you could have stumbled across to help her out in her situation, but that didn't really happen, so she's just going to be kind of...
she's sad.
Yeah, she's going to be sad and jobless for a while. And then what we need to do is do a coda. So for a coda, you look at all the problems that you still have. You pick the worst one. You give me a short little coda of what that means for you going forward. I think I know what your worst problem is.
Yeah. Having seen and also, used these otherworldly beings, these eldritch horrors, I think it's going to end up giving Vivian, at least at first, nightmares.
It's not going to just be at first, I think, but...
Well, I was going to say, going beyond that, it's actually probably going to lead her to look into more of the whole basically mythos in general.
Okay.
She's probably actually, I'm thinking, going to become obsessed with the Temple of Nephthys.
Okay.
And it's probably going to end up causing her to become discredited as a respectable journalist.
All right. Did you keep you kept the schematics?
Yes.
All right. One day you come back to your apartment a couple days after, as the investigation's going on. You find the police have raided your apartment. They've taken the schematics and they've taken the amplifier crystal. And you were told that that's evidence related to a murder investigation. And they'll hold on to it. And that was Fatal Frequencies by Robin D. Laws, Chris Spivey, and Ruth Tillman. Thanks for listening. This episode starred me, Daniel Fernandez, who you can find on Twitter at LOTR_Dan, and Damien, who you could find streaming on twitch.tv/magicalhack. Our editor is the always amazing Russell. Our album art is by Trin at TeaTimeWitch on Twitter. And our main theme is by Claire LW, who you can find via the SoundCloud link found in the episode description. We're Daniel's Dread Tales on YouTube, Daniel's Dread Tales on Twitter, and you can find a link to our Discord in the episode description. We hope to hear from you. We're doing a lot of fun stuff over on the Discord. And I encourage you to please tell a friend about the show and maybe review us wherever you get podcasts. We're not really paying for any ads, so would love for the word to get out there about this show that we're really proud of. We'll see you all again in 2 weeks, and have a terrifying day. Bye.